Listener discretion is advised.
My ghostly visage.
All right, you are listening to Wine and Crime, the podcast where three friends chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash their worst Minnesotan accents.
Mm-hmm. You friggin' betcha.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Friggin' betcha.
You friggin' bet your ass we do.
It never gets old.
Nope. Nope.
Randomly the other day, Zach brought up wanting to go ice fishing with your dad, Lucy. And I was like, I think we could make that happen.
They'd
I don't
never
know.
find his body.
He would love to take him ice fishing, but he probably would love driving him back 15 minutes later.
Well, I told Zach was like, Mike is his best friend. Mike and I, we talked about it. We think it'd be so cool to try it and whatever. And this all stems from like they tried their first, not grain belts, but some beer that's like a very Midwestern piss
Like
beer.
a Northeast or something?
Yeah, but like a real piss beer, like a real ice fishing beer.
Oh, okay.
And he told me about it, and I was like, yeah, that's a real ice fishing beer. And he was like, oh my God, you're right.
What?
So they had one watery beer.
Yeah.
And now they want
go
to fly to Minnesota.
Yeah, well,
And go ice fishing
drive.
with my dad.
go whenever it's safe.
Right.
And then I said, okay, you're not allowed to, you and Mike, you two Brooklyn idiots, are not allowed to try to go ice fishing on your own.
No.
It's way
No.
too dangerous.
Can you imagine those boys with an auger?
No. They'd be dead
They'd fall
so
in
fast.
the hole.
I can't imagine them in boots.
The coroner would be like, there are 16 causes of death. Like, I've never
All
seen
equally
anything like
responsible?
it. They both bled and froze to death.
This is record
And were
breaking.
eaten by fish before they were dead.
I've never
Found
seen
Zach's
anything
eye
like it.
in the belly of a walleye.
So I was like, yeah, you have to go chaperoned with somebody with whatever. And he was like,
Experience.
obviously, Sean. We would go with Sean. And I was like, okay.
My dad could bring his big, that spear thing.
Yeah.
He has like a Triton.
Yeah.
He spears northerns with it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ice fishing was too easy for this man.
Serial killer.
I'm telling you guys.
Murderer.
when
My dad's a murderer.
Remember when he like broke a reed or something in Vietnam and then whittled it and then speared a fish like at the resort? And the resort was like,
Sir.
Yes, actually,
Sir, your
yes,
skills.
I do. Sir, your skills.
He was like, I don't want to pay for dinner.
That's the most Minnesotan part of all of it, is that he's on vacation. And he wants to save the what? Like 10 US
Cents.
dollars.
This happens all the time. When we were in
he
Chicago.
whittled his own spear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, just making sure I'm understanding this.
And
Also,
nailed it.
consider the language barrier too. They weren't understanding each other at all. So the tour guide, like chef dude, was just like, "What?
Where did this fish come?
You're terrifying, so I'm not going to stop you.
Well,
I guess
when,
enjoy your dinner.
so this is how Minnesotan my dad is. We were in Chicago when I was in high school with our foreign exchange student, just walking down. It wasn't Michigan Avenue, but it was like a very like commercial, retail, touristy area.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, we heard a woman scream and a man run out from like a side street with her bag, like her purse and like a shopping bag. And my mom and sister and I were just like, oh, wow, that's interesting. Where'd
Not
dad
helpful
go?
at all. Oh my God.
Dad took off after the purse snatcher, caught up to him.
I've
This
never
is like
seen
a
your dad run.
20-year-old something young man.
Professional purse snatcher.
Caught up to him. They were running alongside each other next to a brick wall, and my dad hip checked him into the brick wall.
Hockey, baby.
Hockey, honey. So the cops were in pursuit, but my dad was faster than the police.
Well, the police are useless. They needed your dad.
Held him down till the cops got there.
Wow.
Oh my God.
He
I
made
didn't
a
know
citizen's
that.
arrest.
Yeah.
with a hockey move into a brick wall.
I really love that he hip checked us a perp.
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
Perp
right.
check.
Anyway, who are we?
Oh yeah, sorry. That
Holy
was like
hell.
a completely random rant that I initiated. I'm so sorry. I'm Kenyon.
I'm Lucy.
I'm Amanda.
The topic of this week's episode is a very special fan pick brought to you by Ashi Watson. Ashi Watson?
There's
no
shade
way to know.
Wait, no shade to know.
I think Oshi.
Oshi. I like Oshi Watson.
I
That's
love
like
it.
a cool name. Feels like you should have a set of cozy mystery books written about you.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of cozy mystery books, can we just talk about how Stacey Abrams can do no wrong and also writes multiple
Yeah.
series of erotica
Yeah.
under the pen name like Celine Montgomery?
How does she have the time?
Right? Literally.
She saved.
Where does she find the
saved
time?
democracy, not single-handedly, of course, because so many activists and organizers helped. But
My
like,
chair. Okay,
she fucking led that effort to save democracy.
I can't get comfortable. Keep
I don't
going.
understand. Okay, so Ashi,
Good on you, Stacey Abrams.
Love her.
Ashi Watson has selected the topic that has nothing to do with anything we've been talking about thus far.
Not a bit.
Not a bit.
Not a
but
wink.
But it's a great topic, and it's making me very nostalgic for days when we could travel. Hellish Hotels.
Oh,
Yeah.
so much to talk about.
Remember
Hotels
when we could
are
stay in
gross.
hotels?
I love a good hotel, though.
I
and
also love a good hotel.
when we were on tour, like, we'd kind of have an urge, like if we were spending a couple nights in a city, we'd sort of have an urge to be like, let's find a boutique hotel in like a cute little area of town, blah, blah, blah. And then by the end of our tour, Kenyon and I were just like,
Never again.
Bland.
well, I want the blandest, like, Holiday Inn
I think we
Express.
stayed in 3 boutique hotels, and then it was just like
One
a
of them
loft
didn't
for
have
the
a
rest of the
working
trip.
elevator, and we
Yeah.
were like, that's it.
Never
Yeah.
again. It was stunning.
It was gorgeous. It was like a pre-war, beautiful building, whatever.
In Milwaukee,
but it
it
didn't
was-
have an elevator.
Nope.
And we were on
Yeah.
the second floor, and that was it.
Done.
That was it.
And we like supporting the small businesses, but there's something that's just so relaxing about like a clinical, like a sterile fucking taupe
Yep.
and gray,
Yes.
air conditioning blasted.
Yeah, I think I
Fake
did.
hotel room.
curtains
I
on,
didn't
like
one
a
queen size bed.
noisy
Yeah, the rods.
rod.
I didn't want any of my senses to be like activated
None,
by the
not
time
at
we got
all.
home to the
Yeah.
hotel. And so just, being able to just evaporate into a king bed with old episodes of Forensic Files
Yes.
in a beige.
room service of like a really expensive, terrible Caesar salad.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Bad eggs and a shitty Caesar salad.
Yeah.
And then Forensic Files ends and it's Pawn Stars. And that's when you fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then a
Yeah.
continental breakfast.
Oh, I want to travel
then
again.
You check out on your phone.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't want to talk to anybody.
Start
They
over.
don't need the key cards back.
No,
you just
you leave 'em
move
in the room.
on. It never happened.
My God, it's like we were never
It
there.
never happened.
One of my favorite hotels we stayed in was the hotel in Cleveland, and
Yes.
my room overlooked a Margaritaville.
So did mine.
Yeah,
It
all of ours
was-
did. They were just in a row.
Oh, it was perfect. Worst hotel food we'd ever had.
Oh, really
Yes.
And Margaritaville. It was a perfect night. Anyway, that felt nice to think
Yeah.
about.
bad. I know.
Ah,
One
travel.
day.
Especially for those one night turnovers where we'd fly in, we would get to the hotel, check in, have
Yep.
like 2 hours, and then have to like have full makeup, finish our notes, create the slide for the show.
That kind of shit
Haul
is wasted.
all of our gear and decor and merch.
Yeah,
to
that's
the
wasted on a
venue,
boutique
set up.
hotel. We don't even
Yeah.
have time to enjoy it, so why bother? Just put me in that padded room, baby.
I want the most anonymous setting.
Yes.
Anyway,
Anyway.
let's drink.
Anyway, let's drink.
Yes, please.
What's our wine crime pairing for Hellish Hotels?
We're going on down to Winc Town
Yeah.
this week. And it's a loose pairing. It's just a really good Winc wine.
Surprise.
Yep. This is the Sapore Locale because no
I
matter
have
the
that one.
locale, there's probably a hotel there.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
It's got a word in it.
What does that mean? Does that mean local knowledge?
I think
Sapore,
so. Just to do it.
Sapore.
This is a Nero d'Avola red. It's a Sicilian varietal.
Flavor. Local flavor.
Local flavor. You check into your hotel. You check out the local flavor.
The local Margaritaville.
It all circle. You overlook the local Margaritaville. You wave at it from
Best
your room.
view in the house.
You close your curtains, and you don't speak of it again.
It never happened.
Yeah. So this is a beautiful fruit-forward Sicilian red. This is a chance, according to Winc, for you to celebrate the Italian way of life. Once used mostly as a blending grape, Nero d'Avola is now popular as a single varietal that performs way above its modern price point. So it's like affordable, but she is
But delish.
tasty. Yes. So this is a very economical choice for your wallet. After being harvested from sandy soiled vineyards, the grapes were then fermented and aged in stainless steel to let the true nature of Nero shine through. Channel the local cuisine and pair with any tomato-rich dish that's available on the room service menu.
Yeah.
Oh.
For a little extra Sicilian flavor, the bottle art, which if you are watching at home on Patreon, I'm
very
showing you
pretty.
right now, features ceramics by local artist Forlín Antonio of Don Corleone. Don Corleone objects out of Taormina.
Nailed it.
I didn't. Sure didn't.
Flourless.
Yikes. She clocks it at 12.6%. She's a medium-bodied gal. Vegan wine making, low sulfur, low sugar, totally organic. This isn't going to like blast you with tannins. It shouldn't leave you with a red wine headache. Like, she's perfect.
Nice.
And I am using my Nice Pop wine key available on the online store, wineandcrimepodcast.bigcartel.com, to get this open. And hopefully I don't blow it. But I might. Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, are you okay?
You spilt.
I'm stained. But I'm fine.
Whatever.
It's red wine all over my new jeans.
Oh no.
Good thing I kept that Stitch Fix subscription.
Do you need to switch your jeans?
Oh,
Do you
no,
need to go
it's not-
soak them?
They're
Do you need
not.
to get a shout wipe?
Oh, no. Honestly, I like the spots. They add character. I look like a painter.
Just shout it out later. Get out of there.
Get out. Go. Can't you see you're not wanted
Damn
anymore?
spot.
Out, damn spot.
It's also all over my desk, and I have nothing to wipe it up with. Cheers,
Right.
everyone.
Cheers.
Take it away while I look for an... Oh, I found these cotton swabs.
Oh, nice. I need to order more. Okay. Lucy, what is our background and maybe psych for Hellish Hotels?
Here we go. For the uninitiated,
I'll just be over here dabbing.
it's good. You're fine. A hotel is a bit like that kind of dabbing.
No.
Okay.
Oh, dang spot.
Oh, God. Okay. A hotel is a building that provides lodging, meals, and other services to the traveling public on a commercial basis. A motel performs the same function as a hotel, but in a format designed for travelers using automobiles.
Oh, like a
Motor hotel.
hotel.
Ah.
Okay, were you really today years old when you made that connection?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow,
Just confirming
okay.
that.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yes,
Does make sense.
I just always
That's
thought,
genius. Who came up with that? Did you?
well, we should call airport hotels like Aero Hotels or something. Aerotel. That's a brand, isn't
Doesn't
it?
have the same ring as motel.
I'll workshop.
Yeah, you
We're
workshop
workshopping
that. Moving on.
A hostel is a hotel designed for cheap young adults who don't mind sharing a bathroom with 40 strangers.
And getting athlete's foot.
And yeah, the smells will stay with me forever.
The characters, the creepy dudes who are like, I'll take the bunk room.
Ew. No.
We've stayed in our fair share of hostels.
I've only stayed in one, and me and my friends that were there were the only ones there, and it was great.
Very lucky and not.
And it was
a
in
common
Duluth,
experience.
so it had a hot tub.
That's different.
Kenyon and I stayed in one in Rome, and my sheets had blood stains.
Yes, they did.
That can happen for all kinds of reasons. A lot of my sheets have blood stains.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway,
It was really gross.
here's some etymology for us. The word hotel is derived from the French hôtel, coming from the same origin as hospital, which referred to a French version of a building seeing frequent visitors and providing care rather than a place offering accommodation. So it came from the idea of a hospital.
Got it.
And hosting.
Yes, and hosting. In contemporary French usage, hôtel now has the same meaning as the English term, and hôtel particulier is used for the old meaning as well as hôtel in some places such as Hôtel Dieu in Paris, which has been a hospital since the Middle Ages.
Wow.
Grammatically speaking, hotels usually take the definite article, hence the Astoria Hotel or simply the Astoria. So here's a bit of history from Encyclopedia
That
Britannica.
wine is really good.
So is mine.
And my
Inns.
flavored sparkling water is getting all of the stains out of my jeans.
Nice.
Oh, you're so crafty.
I found out in watching one of my BritBox shows recently that people used to use beer to wash their floors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that seems like it'd be sticky.
Well, you like water down the beer,
Mm-hmm.
but then it's like a good way to clean wood floors, especially.
Weird.
Yeah.
They probably used beer to
Maybe-
wash
maybe
the
they use,
floors
like,
of
a good-
inns.
A good ice fishing beer.
Could be.
Yes.
Okay.
Inns have existed since very ancient times to serve merchants and other travelers. In the Roman Empire, hostelries called mansiones, got it, were situated along the Roman road system to accommodate travelers on government or commercial business. Excuse me. The commercial revival of the European Middle Ages stimulated a widespread growth of inns and hostels. Many of these were operated by monastic brotherhoods in order to guarantee haven for travelers in dangerous regions. So a famous example is the hostel in the Great St. Bernard Pass in the Swiss Alps, which was founded in the 10th century by St. Bernard of Montjoux and is still operated by the community of Augustinian monks.
Wow. That'd be a cool place to go.
Yeah. Live show.
I wonder if they have a bar, though. Probably not.
We'll bring our own. Yeah. Whatever. They send out all those St. Bernards with the little whiskey barrels around their collars.
Oh, true. I wonder if that's where it came from, because they're in the
Probably.
Swiss Alps.
I would
Maybe.
very confidently say that's accurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've figured it out.
Yeah.
Solved it. Cracked it. In 13th century China, Marco Polo found an extensive system of relay houses in existence to provide lodgings for travelers and way stations for the Mongol postal service.
That is wild to think about.
I know. So these old inns, especially like for traveling soldiers or like postal carriers, they could stay at these inns and that they would get a meal and a room and whatever, and then their horses would also have like a stable and they could eat their hay, or
Rest
they
up.
could trade them out for fresher horses. So it's sort of like, well, they call them relay houses for
Right.
a reason. So I thought that was kind of cool.
So all the horses are basically just in a system, or when you came back that way, you'd get your original horse again?
Yeah, or
Probably
like
a sign-in sheet.
if you were operating like within like a company, it's probably not your horse.
Yeah,
you
they're
just
just
switch
like
it out.
company. It's like rental cars.
Yeah,
Wow.
shopping carts.
This is early Hertz,
Yeah.
early Alamo rental.
Yeah.
Alamo. Privately operated inns intended primarily for use by merchants were widespread in both Islamic and Western European countries during the later Middle Ages. The rapid proliferation of stagecoach travel during the 18th century further stimulated the development of inns. So there's just inns all over the place. But it was the Industrial Revolution of the 19th century that stimulated the most progress in innkeeping and like fucking everything else. Especially in England, whose inns became a standard for the world on account of their cleanliness and comfort. So England had the best inns.
The gold standard.
The gold standard.
I've never been to England, but when Bill and I went to Amsterdam, like now almost 2 years ago, we went to this really cool bar that was in one of the oldest, well, really like the oldest surviving inn in the city because there had been a big fire. And so a lot of buildings that were literally like wood just didn't make it. But this inn did. And it used to take in sailors, obviously, who were like staying on between, you know, ports. Whatever. And it was so uncommon to have, there was no like common currency really. And so they would accept monkeys as payment for like room and board and food.
What?
And then the inn became so overrun with monkeys that then had like fleas and all kinds of
Why
disease.
would they want all those monkeys?
I don't
sell
know.
monkeys?
I
They
mean,
could
first of
sell
all,
them.
who wouldn't
I
want a monkey?
don't.
But second, you could probably then sell the monkey
Yeah.
for like, I don't know. It probably wasn't the best
Probably
situation.
like some kind of fucking trend back then, like
Yeah.
tulips.
Yeah.
Everybody,
But
all
they
kinds
had
of
to,
people
sure it
wanted
was.
a
they had to
monkey.
officially be like, no more monkeys. We are no longer accepting monkeys as payment.
It's like
Because people
Amex.
don't even want to stay here anymore. Yeah, we don't
do
take
not-
Discover. The fees are too high. The
We don't take
fleas-
monkeys. The fleas are too
Fees
high.
are too high. So it's now like this iconic bar. It's called like the Apin Bar, and they have like a specific beer that's made for them, and the whole place is full of like monkey memorabilia. It was one of our favorite spots that we went to when we were there.
Ridiculous.
I'm putting that on my bucket list.
You especially would love it. It's over 400 years old. It's like a tiny hole in the wall, and it's stunning. Like all the woodwork is original, and it's covered in monkeys.
Didn't you also stay on a boat that had a bunch of cats on it?
Yep, the Posenboot. We didn't stay on that boat, but it's a cat rescue that's in a boat on the canal.
Okay. I'm going to Amsterdam at the earliest possible.
It was the
Opportunity.
best
I
trip
love
ever.
Amsterdam.
We loved it so much. Anyway, that's my anecdote.
Fucking COVID. So meanwhile, American innkeepers were setting a standard for size because that's what Americans do.
Fuck quality.
Yeah.
We want quantity.
Yep. Size
Or
queens.
size, yeah. By 1800, the inns of the United States were the largest in the world. The American trend towards large size continued into the 20th century and eventually was adopted by other countries. So those big ass hotels started in the U.S. for the
There's
most
a
part.
big ass hotel in the Mall of America. If
We
that's
will
not the
get-
most American fucking thing.
I think there's apartment buildings in the Mall of America.
I don't think
You
they're
can live
in,
there.
but they're like adjacent. There's a wedding chapel.
Oh,
Oh
God.
God.
There's so much you can do at the mall.
Wonder what that wedding hashtag would be.
They did clean up the mall, though. The interior is a lot nicer.
Oh yeah,
than it
they've
used to
remodeled
be.
it.
Yeah.
It's very updated.
I bet I haven't been to the Mega Mall in 10 years.
Real Minnesotans don't. It's that shadowy place. You must never go there, Simba.
You and I went, and we got big old drinks at we went to the
Yep.
Rainforest
We
Cafe.
did.
I'm
Just
so
the two of
jealous.
us.
That sounds so fun.
It was really fun.
Do you still have your
monkeys
commemorative
everywhere.
goblet?
I have my wait. There we are. A
Oh
lady
my-
came by offering to take a photo, and I paid $10 for this.
Am I wearing my spooky little bitch sweatshirt?
Yep.
Yes.
Always be branding. And then we went to the gift shop and we bought these commemorative tumblers.
My God.
So
I'm so
yeah,
jealous.
real Minnesotans don't go to the Mall of America except
When they do.
to get lunch at the Rainforest
But when we
Cafe.
do,
We go hard.
frequent the Rainforest
I also
Cafe.
love how it's completely empty in the background. We were
There
one
was
of
no one
two families, and yes, we're a family that were there.
one of two families.
I loved this day. Continue. I'm just going to gaze
Okay.
at this.
As railroads became more ubiquitous,
Kenyon has a Caesar salad. Sorry.
of course she does. It's the least surprising thing I've ever heard.
I have to put it away. No, I'm going to prop it up right here so I can stare at it.
Hang it up.
You're right.
me a
I do need to hang it
copy.
up. I'll find a spot.
Send me a copy. Okay.
I
Okay,
didn't
as-
want to buy the copy. I'm not sending either of you shit. This
Can we
one's
move
mine.
on?
Yes.
Talking about hotels.
Yes. And the Mall of America. And
As
Rainforest
railroads
Cafe.
became more ubiquitous, faster travel eliminated the need for more smaller inns serving the coach routes. So we saw new, larger hotels near the railroad stations. Traveling for pleasure also became a thing in the 19th century, thus inspiring a new class of resort hotels around the world. Along the French and Italian Riviera, resort hotels were constructed to serve wealthy vacationers who frequently came for the entire summer or winter season.
That sounds nice.
Luck.
For the air.
Yeah.
It's got cleaner air
Really just, for my health.
for my health, for my lungs. Luxury hotels soon made their appearances in the cities. In 1889, the Savoy Hotel in London set a new standard with its own electricity. Ooh la la.
Wow.
And its host of special services for guests. So that hotel was like the first
Wow.
fancy hotel.
It was lit.
Oh. I took a photo of our Rainforest Cafe picture for the blog.
That was fucking good. Okay. After World War II, many new hotels were constructed near major airports. Your aerotels. I like Aerotel.
Aerotel.
That's not what they're called. There was a rise in chain hotel operations, which is when a corporation owns and operates 2 or more hotels. It's like a serial killer. The threshold is 2 or more.
That's
Got
very
it.
low.
In order to increase efficacy in purchasing, sales, and reservations. There are 3 main categories of hotels. We have transient hotels, resorts, and residential hotels.
Okay.
A transient hotel is just like what we think of when we think of a hotel,
Sure.
where most of the guests are not permanent residents. Guests of these hotels can generally expect a room, a private bath, phone, radio, and TV, plus, like, depending on how nice it is, laundry, swimming pool, valet, dining, gift shop, lounge, whatever. A resort hotel is a luxury facility intended for vacationers and is usually located near a special attraction like a beach, historical area, spa, ski park, or Disney World, some sort of theme park.
Okay.
Sometimes they are seasonally operated, but that is becoming far less common than it used to be. Just because technology, we can heat hotels now, you know.
Right.
Yeah, and if, for ski hotels, they can create like summer activities to try to even out their annual income.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So a residential hotel is basically an apartment building with maid service, room service, and a dining room.
Okay.
What's that you say?
Right? Where do I sign?
So this isn't the type of hotel necessarily, but like, you know how like Coco Chanel lived at the Ritz for like her
Right.
whole life?
Mhm.
Technically not a residential hotel necessarily. Maybe that block of rooms was. But there's like types of hotels, and then it can be different from just like the ways people use these hotels. So there are a lot of subcategories, and
Yeah, it's not like, what's his name? Was it Royal Tenenbaum?
Oh,
The
yeah.
dad's name was Royal, I think.
I
Where
don't
he
know.
know.
gets kicked out of the hotel that he'd been living at for not paying his bills.
Sure.
Or like Eloise. Some other types of hotels are luxury, boutique, extended stay, timeshares, love, historic, cave, cliff, capsule, ice, treehouse, underwater, overwater, and micro stays.
What's a micro stay?
Like those Japanese tiny little hotel
like a
rooms.
pod.
Yeah.
Oh.
micro stay.
Okay.
Quick anecdote about love hotels.
Yes.
Stupidest.
Do tell.
story. First of all, they're everywhere in China. So
Yeah.
I have stayed at a love hotel because they're real cheap.
Oh, yeah. We stayed at one in Hong Kong. Not real. It was just so cheap. We didn't realize.
They're for
Chungking
fucking.
Mansion. Yeah. They
Like,
were
they're
like,
for fucking.
yeah, they're like, you're going to stay here for how long? They had to like find a different rate card that
Chungking
wasn't
Mansion
hourly.
isn't a love hotel.
It's not great.
It's like a hostel. We stayed there too. I stayed at a hotel that had like a little saucer of condoms next to the bed.
Oh.
And like hearts on everything.
Cute.
And like the walls to the shower were glass looking into the bedroom area.
Okay.
Hooks on the wall. Anyway, that wasn't
like
my anecdote.
anchored, like,
I didn't want to
for-
look at it too much, but yeah, it was for apparati. Anyway, when my parents came to visit us in China, we were going to go from China into Vietnam. Just like, why not hit two countries at once? They've come all that way.
Mm-hmm.
My mom thought that the dates on your visa didn't really matter, but they super fucking do.
Yeah.
Obviously. So mine and Corey's and Blortney's visa were all correct, but my mom's, my dad's, and my sister's were not correct.
Oh,
yeah, they
dear.
didn't buy the multiple entry, I think.
No, we bumped our plans up by a day, but for some reason, our visas were still valid, but theirs were not. So they had to stay in China without us for a full 24 hours. So they don't speak any Mandarin. Obviously, we're in rural, it was a large city, but it's essentially rural China on the border of Vietnam.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, okay, figure it out. We'll see you in Hanoi. So they found a lovely little love hotel to stay at
To be
overnight.
trapped in.
She was like, it was the only one that had any English letters on it. So it was the only one where she could read the word hotel.
Yeah.
But it was a love hotel. And everything was like red velvet. The three of them shared a room.
Velvet is so hard to clean.
Oh,
I know.
I stayed at a love hotel in Niagara Falls, Canada when I was 19 with my boyfriend at the time, and the room had a red heart-shaped jacuzzi just in the corner, like not behind a door or in a bathroom.
Yeah.
Just like 4 feet from the bed.
Yep.
That's like in Dumb and Dumber, they're sitting in that heart-shaped jacuzzi.
Yup. And my boyfriend at the time like couldn't sleep because there were like fights happening. We were on like ground level and there were like fights happening outside our door all night.
You
It was
just
a
slept
really
like
romantic
baby.
getaway.
That sounds about right.
It was great.
I want to stay in an overwater hotel. So, like,
Yeah.
think of like the Maldives.
Yeah.
Like, you walk out on the docks, there's all those huts.
That'd be super cool.
That'd be really cool.
I wonder if you just poop
Someday.
straight into the water.
No,
Okay.
I don't think you do.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, here's some fun facts for you about hotels.
Everyone at that resort dies of cholera.
Well, they don't tell you to swim right there. Okay, fun facts. The largest hotel in the world is the First World Hotel, not a great name, in Malaysia with at least 7,351 rooms.
Wow.
No, thank you.
That's
She-big.
too many people potentially near me.
If you've ever stayed at the Venetian complex in Las Vegas, that has 7,117 rooms.
No.
Too many.
Mm-hmm.
The smallest hotel is the Ehausel Hotel in Amberg, Germany, at just 570 square feet.
That
It
is
can
just
only-
a housel.
It is Ehausel.
Sounds like a major hassle.
It can only accommodate 2 guests at a time.
That's just a house.
Yeah,
That's a
yes,
small
a housel.
apartment.
570 square feet. Yeah. It's not
tiny for
it's
2
not an
people.
insulting amount of space.
No, but it's
No.
insulting to consider that a hotel.
It's not
Exactly.
a hotel. Yeah, exactly. It could
Yeah.
be an Airbnb.
That's, yep.
the The oldest hotel in operation is the Nishiyama Onsen Kyokan in Yamanashi, Japan.
All right.
Nailed it.
Cool.
The hotel first opened in 707 AD
Wow.
and has been operated by the same family for either 46 or 52 generations. I saw 2 different numbers there.
That's a lot. Either way.
A lot of
My
generations.
word. They've operated. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Imagine
Is that
the pressure.
oldest successive family business?
Like
also?
ever. It's
Oh,
gotta be.
I don't think so. Japan is old. They probably
True.
have restaurants that are older than that.
That's true. That shit's always mind-blowing to Americans.
Yeah.
707.
Yeah.
That's That's legit.
Basically when my grandma was born.
708.
That's when root beer was invented.
She's an 08 baby.
Yeah. She's an 08 baby. 708 AD.
Instead of a millennial, she's a millennium.
Got
A millennium. The Parker
Phenomenal.
Meridian in New York City, their restaurant is called Norma's, and Norma's serves the most expensive omelet in the world. And
Why?
it's called the $1 zillion lobster frittata.
That sounds disgusting. One.
It's priced at,
I do like a lobster omelet.
it's not $1 zillion, but it is $1,000.
For an omelet?
It includes a full pound of lobster and more than half a pound of caviar.
No.
That's dumb. I don't like it.
Who wants a half pound of caviar?
Yep.
No. Is that for one person?
Well, probably not, because a full pound, like that much, that would just be like volume-wise a huge amount of food.
You should offer that at
Locale's.
Locale's.
$1,000 omelet. With
$1 zillion
fuck ton
burger.
of caviar on it.
Just put it on the menu. See if anyone orders it.
What
Someone
if they do?
will order it.
Well-
Like, oh, we're sold out. It's been 86.
No, serve it to them and get paid $1,000 for
Yeah.
a burger.
They're not going to know.
Yeah, maybe.
They're not going to know that caviar is not beluga and it's actually just like sesame seeds
It's
suspended
just
in gelatin.
insulation.
Yeah, it's asbestos scraped over the top. It's $1
It's
zillion
just very
burger because of the
salty
medical
chia
bill.
seeds.
Yes. Yes. Filter out those wet chia seeds from the bottom of a
Yeah.
kombucha bottle.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then
Plop
just
it on a
salt 'em.
burger. Put a frozen lobster tail on there. You got yourself a $1 zillion burger
How about I sprout some mung beans on a
Ooh.
moist paper towel
in your desk.
in my desk
They're
drawer?
very nutritious, but they smell like death. Oh, I know exactly what he's talking about.
Gross.
A distinct old man smell.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. A person named Chow Ka-Fai, a housekeeping staff member for the Cordis Hotels in Hong Kong, earned the Guinness World Record for fastest time to make a bed by a king-size bed by one individual.
Wow.
And it only took them 1 minute and 9 seconds.
Wow.
So like all the special
Crazy.
corner folds and everything.
Wow, that's fast.
That's impressive.
I hate making the bed. I've been doing it every day because I do love a made bed,
Oh, no.
but I hate it.
I
Do you
don't
have a
make my
top?
bed.
Do you use a top sheet?
No. Mm-mm. It's very simple. My problem is that I have to always readjust and retuck the fitted sheet. The fitted
Oh.
sheet doesn't stay
Is he
in
a
place
thrasher?
very well. I think I am.
It might be me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Corey thrashes. My side of the fitted sheet is always fine. His is always loose, and I don't give a shit enough to ever fix it. I just put the comforter over it. Just air it out. I think top sheets are a fucking joke.
They
Yeah, they're
are.
a
Mine
scam.
always ends up in a wad at the bottom of
Yeah.
the bed. No matter what I do, it's
I
always
also-
there.
I also don't like the feeling of getting into a hotel bed with that top sheet fit like tucked
Yeah.
so tight.
It's like a straitjacket.
I have to kick until it's like loose.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're not a psychopath.
Exactly. Well, you know,
in
that
that
sense.
regard.
in that way.
Yeah.
Okay, this was my favorite part. The most expensive hotel room in the world. At $100,000 per night, The Empathy Suite Sky Villa at the Palms Casino Resort in Las Vegas is the most expensive hotel room to stay in.
The Empathy Suite.
Ish.
That's how rare it is.
If you can afford it, you can't feel it.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, there are photos on the drive, and this will become clear about how douchey this is momentarily.
Whoa.
Designed by that artist, Damien Hirst.
Damien Faye Hurst.
Damien Faye Hirst.
This is that room? Oh, God.
It offers 9,000 square feet on 2 floors, a chauffeured car service, 24-hour butler service, A-list access to the clubs and a recording studio, and $10,000 in credit to spend in the casino downstairs, among other things, which we'll
want
get
to
to.
do it.
So really,
I love
it's
Vegas.
$90,000 a night.
Oh, no, there's a 2-night minimum.
Well, I'm just saying.
So
if
it's
they give you your
$180,000.
Well, it's credit. It's $10,000 in credit. So I don't think they're really they're giving you $10,000.
You have to use it to get it.
Yeah. Here is
It's
more.
a hideous room,
It's
by the way.
heinous.
It's really
Okay.
ugly.
This is from a Forbes article. The suite itself houses a 13-seat curved bar created by Hearst and filled with medical waste.
What?
Huh?
Yeah. Okay. So if you look at, there are a couple of different bars. Let me see.
The one with
Also
the colorful bar
butterflies
top?
everywhere. They're like stickers everywhere.
Okay. So all the decals on the windows are like pills. There are pill bottles, details of pills and pill bottles all over. So that colorful bar top is like, it's like
it's like
shit
bags.
set. It's like set in resin.
Surgical masks. I see it.
Yeah.
Oh, ish.
Yeah, and there's
Ew.
like pill shit everywhere.
Is it like supposed to you're supposed to like do drugs and get high in this hotel?
Well, I mean,
This
it's
is just
Vegas.
this guy. I have no idea. This is his style. It's like butterflies and pills and animals suspended in formaldehyde. Like those are his things.
Which, like, great.
I don't get it.
I don't either. It just seems really douchey. Okay, hanging at its center is Hearst's 2018 piece, Here for a Good Time, Not a Long Time, featuring
God.
2 vitrines, one with a marlin skeleton and the other with a taxidermy marlin. Elsewhere, there's a gym, a salt relaxation room, and 2 media lounges that sit 50-plus guests on Hearst-designed furniture. And there are 5 other original Hearst works dotted throughout. Then it lists them all. I don't give a shit.
I wonder how often this gets used. Because, like, there's a lot of wealth coming in and out of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
like, if I spent $200,000 for 2 nights and I got this room, I'd be like,
I don't know. Some
"Ugh."
people are into it.
If you have $200,000 to spend on 2 nights in a hotel room, you don't care. It might as well be $500,000. I feel.
Yeah, that's
If
true.
you have that kind of money,
You're
money
right.
is not even an
object.
issue.
Yeah.
But perhaps most recognizable is his piece Winner Loser, which is a white tank set into the wall of the suite housing 2 bull sharks suspended in formaldehyde.
Mm-hmm.
I put a picture of the bathtub for Amanda.
It's not that great of a bathtub.
No.
No, I don't like that dark marble. I don't like
The
the
view is
pills.
cool.
I don't like
It's really
anything
sending
about
the
this.
wrong message. It's very cold.
Yeah, it looks like a
I will
grave.
not be spending my $200,000.
Absolutely not. I will not be spending more than I spent on my home, basically, on this hotel.
And here's the most egregious part. This shit is 2 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms
What?
for this.
I
just can't.
I nannied a family that lived in a hotel,
That's weird.
and that's all I'm gonna say about that.
In New York.
Mystery.
In near New York, yes.
Wow.
I remember that family. That's all I'm going to say, too.
Well, great. Well done.
Anyway,
Now we
great,
have nothing else to say.
great views. If you're a huge fan of Damien Hirst, I almost said Emil Hirsch. Maybe this is for you, but probably not. This
No.
is a fucking racket. And
I
it's
liked
ugly.
my like discounted room at the Bellagio way better than that
Yeah.
monstrosity.
I liked my
I could
Holiday
come
Inn
up
Express
with a
Bland
much
room better
nicer
than
room
this.
for that amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my segment.
Love
Not a lot
it.
to talk about in terms of hotels, but this particular room is
I feel like we learned a lot.
nightmare.
All I want to do now is go to Vegas.
Never been.
Don't bother. It's gross.
Don't listen to her. It's amazing.
I did watch Viva Las Vegas recently. Does not hold up. I watched that like 50 times as a child, and then I put it on and I was like, Zach, you're going to love it. It's so fun. And then I realized that there's like not a plot, and there's just like a lot of like objectification of women, and like it's terrible.
Yeah.
You should watch Leaving Las Vegas. It's
Yeah.
probably a better film.
Yeah. My case, I bet a lot of people have heard about it. It kind of blends true crime and spooky.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely famous, but maybe there are a few folks that don't know all the details. So construction began on the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles in 1924.
Ah, yes.
Good vintage.
Great year.
It was the joint venture of 3 successful hoteliers. How do you say that in English? Hotelier?
Hoteliers.
Hoteliers.
We still say hotelier.
Okay.
How do you say that in English? Cucumba.
Well, I didn't know if you
Just
guys were
because
going
we
to
don't
make fun
say
of me.
papier-mâché.
3 successful hotel owners named William
I
Banks.
can't deal with you sometimes. How do you say that in English? In my hometown of Normandy, France, we didn't learn how to say the English pronunciation.
I love how douchey you are.
That was a legit question. Whatever. William Banks Hanner.
Hane.
Tanya?
Hanner. Charles L. Dix.
Oh, no. We've opened a can of worms.
Worms?
Well,
No. Chuck Dix.
Chuck Dicks.
And Robert H. Shops. Or Schnapps, maybe. Schnapps.
He needs to be shaved. Holly Hunter playing Robert H. Chaps.
The law firm of Hanner, Dix, and Schnapps.
The Cecil Hotel.
The three
Cecil Hotel.
The 3 envisioned it as a destination for well-off business travelers and tourists. The design of the hotel included several lavish touches,
Touches.
Lavish. Shashish.
such as a marble lobby and stained glass windows. Only a few years after the Cecil opened its doors, the country entered the Great Depression.
Oh, bad timing.
Bad time to open
Like opening a hotel right before COVID.
Yeah.
It's like graduating college with your bachelor's in 2009.
Yep.
Yeah, that was fun. There was obviously much less demand for hotel rooms, especially expensive hotel rooms during the Great Depression, but still, wealth inequality, the Cecil was able to actually do okay enough for itself throughout the 1930s and into the 1940s. There were enough rich people still.
Well, thank God for that.
Whew! Phew! Even as the rest of downtown LA declined around it, and it had a reputation then as being like a fashionable destination in LA. Eventually, though, the Cecil too would fall into disrepair and became known as a cheap place where transients could rent long-term rooms and also a rendezvous spot.
A love
For-
hotel.
A love hotel for adulterous couples, sex workers and their clients, or Lucy's entire family lost.
Or
Lost in a drift.
expired visa stranded travelers whose half of their family left them behind without help.
Whatever. It's your fucking fault.
I mean, that's fair.
But even starting in the early, relatively prosperous years, the Cecil seemed to attract more than its fair share of tragic and violent events, leading many to believe that this place is a fucking curse.
You're cursed.
Yeah.
She cursed.
She fucking cursed, and we will get to it. There's so much. Oh my God. Okay. It's like mind-boggling to believe that this was all related to one building.
Yeah, basically like American Horror Story Hotel is based on like this and H.H. Holmes Murder
Yeah.
Hotel.
Oh. And
Yeah,
it's
like-
only been open for like less than 100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not good.
So, to start us off, we have some suicide stories. So, on November 19th, 1931, a 46-year-old man named W.K. Norton was found dead in his room at the Cecil after ingesting poison, and he had checked in a week before under a false name. And this, we believe, was the first, at least documented, suicide to have taken place at the Cecil. But this would become such a common occurrence in the ensuing years that the hotel would be nicknamed the Suicide.
Okay.
I think people dying by suicide in hotels is way more common than
Well,
we know.
There's a lot of like, you're less likely to be discovered by family or loved ones.
you're still going to be discovered by someone.
You're
which
still gonna be
sucks.
discovered
You're still
by
gonna traumatize
someone.
someone.
But it's not going to
Right.
be somebody who's scarred by seeing their mother
Right.
with her head blown
Exactly.
open
And
or
then
something.
tainting
Their child
like
or
the home that you share with another individual. Like it makes sense, kind of. There's a
That's
whole
serious
infrastructure of cleaning it up in
terrible
place.
for hotel staff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's awful, but it kind of tracks.
I understand what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah. Most of the people who completed suicide at the Cecil died either from ingesting poison or from jumping from an upper story window. There are photos on the drive of the hotel if you want to go take a look real quick.
It's like, I don't want to see
Of
those
what?
photos.
No,
Yeah,
of the
okay.
of the like height of the hotel,
Right.
not of.
She's tall.
Yeah.
Didn't do any gruesome pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fall would kill you for sure.
Yeah. In several cases, investigators were never able to determine the identity of the deceased because they, like Norton, the first guy, checked in under false names. And back then they couldn't do DNA or whatever. And sometimes, you know, the condition of the body was not such that it could be identified.
Right.
Yeah.
Dang.
Mm-hmm. Now we'll move on to murders.
Cool. Love it.
Okay.
We're getting a real smorgasbord on this one.
It really is. It's a lot of very short dives. So the hotel has also been connected to numerous and high-profile murder cases.
Luck.
So the earliest of these cases was an incident in 1944 in which a 19-year-old woman named Dorothy Jean Purcell was staying at the Cecil with her 38-year-old shoe salesman boyfriend. And this case is not what you think it's going to be. It's way darker than what you think it's going to be.
Great.
Also, isn't Kenneth Purcell the name in 30 Rock?
Probably.
I think it's
Of
Kenneth,
the,
of the blonde page.
the page.
I don't know.
Anyway, so she's 19. Her boyfriend is 38. I'm assuming he's married.
Sure.
I don't know for a fact, but I think so. They're staying in this hotel. She wakes up and realizes she's gone into labor. She didn't even know she was pregnant.
Oh my God. Next thing you know, she's starring on a TLC show.
Yeah.
That is my worst nightmare.
I
Where
know.
well,
And it
like,
happened to someone we know.
oh, it sure did.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Every time I have poop that comes with like painful cramping, I'm like watching the bowl like a hawk. It is a real fear that I
Yeah.
operate through the world with weighing on my heart.
Yeah. You could be secret pregnant and suddenly go into labor.
Yeah, so my
What would you
body
do?
changes depending on like which burrito I ate that day. So I
Which
would never know.
I know that children are not at all in your plan, but if you were to go into labor later today and give birth to a healthy child, what would you do?
give it to you.
Yeah.
FedEx it to Kenyon.
Yeah.
Zach, we have a blue-haired baby.
What do I do? Pack it in ice? And
Dry ice. It'll be fine.
Send it to Kentucky?
Make sure to get a tracking number.
I don't know. You
I mean,
can barely
I'd
even ship
fucking
wine
keep
here.
it. I would just resent it my whole life.
Okay, so this poor...
It'd be a great story for cocktail parties, though.
That kid
Yeah.
will be using Talkspace. Let's just say that.
So she goes into labor in the hotel. She's in the Cecil, which is like not a great hotel. Or in a
No, if you
shitty
gotta
love
go into
hotel.
labor in a hotel, this is not the one.
No.
No.
It's the Empathy Sky Suite.
That's
the
it.
one
Yeah,
you
going
really
into labor
wanna-
there would be like the only place worse than the Cecil. You're just like
it's so
butterflies and marble.
There's like not a soft or porous surface in that entire place. They could just hose it down. And
Yeah.
you know that was intentional.
I would give birth, if I were in that suite and I found myself giving birth, I would do it in the, like a, what's it called? Like a birthing pool that is the
pool.
hot tub
Yeah.
overlooking the strip.
Oh, yeah.
Just
That'd be
scream,
nice.
let everybody hear and see it.
Yeah.
So not wanting to wake her boyfriend
Oh, God.
Because
Wake
she's a-
him up.
because she's a poor little baby muffin and was shocked and confused,
Yeah,
probably in
honey.
shock.
Oh, yeah, she's 19. Ooh. Oh, my God.
She went into the bathroom where she delivered the baby on her own.
Nope. Nope.
Silently, so as to not wake her boyfriend.
Nope.
And then threw the child out the window.
Oh, honey.
I told you it was
God.
not going to go where you thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
She defenestrated the baby.
Yes. She would later claim that she believed the baby to be dead at the time she had done so. I don't think they could.
Determine one way or another.
Right.
Yeah.
She was arrested for murder. And after the trial, she was the focus of like lurid tabloid coverage because obviously this is like the wildest case ever.
Yeah, poor
And,
thing. I mean, it's not the choice was not the right choice, but
No.
I do have a lot of empathy for her situation.
She was in a crazy situation. Yeah, but no, obviously that's horrific. She was declared not guilty by reason of insanity
Yeah.
because because what she did was so wild.
Right. Just couldn't have been in her right mind when she made that decision. It was
Right.
pure panic and adrenaline.
Right. Right. Yeah. To not know you're pregnant and to be in such a place and in such a relationship where you deliver that baby silently in
Yeah.
the room next to your sleep. I can't.
Yeah.
That's so creepy. Okay. So the next grisly occurrence at the Cecil took place on June 4th, 1964, when an employee, so they made it a good 20 years. Before the next
They
murder.
have one of those little calendars. It's been 20 years since our last grisly situation.
Tabloid fodder murder.
Oh, there were definitely some suicides in the interim, but this is, they made it this long before the next murder.
Great.
Brava.
Brava.
Cecil.
When an employee of the hotel entered one of the rooms to find that a woman named Pigeon Goldie Osgood,
Love
I
her
like
already.
that.
Sign
Pigeon
me
Goldie,
Don't
Yeah.
sign up. Don't sign up.
up. Team
horrible.
Pigeon.
Enjoy the name, have fun with the name, break, and horrible end to this poor woman.
Great. Cool. Kenyon's always killing them off left and right.
I'm not me.
It's you.
If a tree falls in the forest
She
and
she
Kenyon
was a
doesn't report on it.
Did it really happen?
I'm going to tell you about her first and then tell you what happened to her. So she was a retired telephone operator and she was well known in the area because she was almost always in the nearby Pershing Square feeding the pigeons.
I love her.
Tuppence a bag.
Feed the bird. She's that lady from Home Alone.
Yeah. Covered in pigeons.
Yeah.
Ugh. She was
love her.
scarier than the burglars.
Oh, yeah.
So she had been just brutally attacked, beaten, raped, and stabbed to death in a hotel room. The hotel room that Pigeon Goldie's body was found in had been thoroughly ransacked, but the killer left the two items that Goldie was never seen without: her Dodgers baseball cap
Oh, my God.
and a brown
Pidge.
paper bag of bird seed.
No!
I know, Pigeon
What's
Goldie.
wrong with you?
You monster!
I didn't do
Leave
it.
Pidge alone.
Poor Pidge.
So, hours after her body was found, a 29-year-old man named Jacques B. Ellinger was seen walking through Pershing Square in blood-stained clothing.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
He was arrested and charged with the crime, but was later released as there was no other evidence tying him to the murder, and they couldn't test the blood. So he could just say it's his or whatever.
I have my period. What?
Yeah, he could have said I was butchering pigs or whatever. They couldn't test it. And Pigeon Goldie's murder remains unsolved. I don't know why. Like,
we've solved it.
She didn't have a lot of money. She must have had like some small amount of money
Yeah.
and was, or just attacked randomly. I don't know.
That's so sad.
But she was beaten and killed in the hotel room.
Yeah, and raped. Yeah. So now we're going to move on to serial killers.
Oh, good. Okay. I was wondering when we were going to get here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. So this is all one hotel.
Yep.
Just a reminder.
Yep. Great.
Further contributing to the Cecil's dark reputation, it was the known residence of two very notorious serial killers, one that has been back in the news lately. In 1985, Richard Ramirez, better known as the Night Stalker / most disgusting human
Yep. On
to
planet
ever walk
Earth.
this earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
He gives me the heebs big time.
I can like barely even
Look at him.
research or talk about him because he's so gross. He was living in a room at the Cecil that he rented for $14 a night. And while living at the hotel, Ramirez killed 13 victims.
Jesus Christ.
So by then, it was extremely run down, the hotel, and it was like the perfect place for a creep like him to go unnoticed.
Just fly
Because-
totally under the radar.
Everyone that was staying there was like,
He blended in.
yeah, don't ask, don't tell.
It was creep paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, after returning from one of his murderous home invasions, he would dump his bloody clothes in the hotel's dumpster and then slip back in through an unlocked back entrance. And like, that's not even like, he wasn't even like trying.
Yeah. That's
hide
not
it.
clever.
That's
That's
too
me
easy.
taking all the McDonald's bags out of my car once a month, throwing them into the dumpster and going in the house.
Right.
Yeah. Like he could have turned them into like laundry service. Like it was like that obvious what he was doing.
My God.
Jesus. How'd they figure that out? Did he say? Probably.
I don't know, actually. I don't like even reading about him, so I did not dig in any farther than that. 6 years later, a man named Jack Unterweger. I don't know if I said that right. Unterweger?
I don't know.
Underwear.
Underwear.
Began working as an on-location journalist reporting on Los Angeles crime for an Austrian newspaper.
Oh.
Weird, but
Seems
okay.
weird, but all right. Unterweger was a convicted murderer in Austria. He had been charged with the murder of an 18-year-old girl named Margaret Schaefer in 1974 and sentenced to life in prison. But while incarcerated, he began writing extensively, and he caught the attention of Austria's literary elite,
Oh,
Jesus
no.
Lord.
who successfully lobbied for his early release, believing him to be reformed.
No.
No. This is why we get questions of like which serial killer would you want to interview and blah blah blah. It's like
None of
None
them.
of them. None.
I don't want any contact. I'll watch shows about it. Like I'll
Yep.
watch Mindhunter, whatever, but like I am not qualified and I have no fucking desire to talk to these people. And
None.
we've had opportunities pitched to us to talk to killers in jail and like
No.
not
Not
me.
I want to
interested.
give them any kind of platform. I will say there's a show on HBO that I told you guys to watch. I think it's called Crazy Not Insane. And it's about a woman who has spent her whole career interviewing killers and serial killers and just talks about like their psyche, and it's so interesting.
It's
If you're a
fascinating.
trained professional
Yeah, but like
studying
Kenyon
these
said,
people,
we don't have
I want to
the
watch
chops.
her show.
Exactly.
right.
I don't want to. We're
I
not
wanna do
journalists.
it.
We're not psychologists.
No,
We're
no,
not-
no, no, no.
At that point, it's just voyeurism and like,
Yeah.
no. So somehow this fucking murderer who killed an 18-year-old girl who gets lost in this story, but he fucking killed this poor girl. So this killer is supposed to have life in prison. They get him out after like, I don't know, like 15 years in prison. He's released in 1990, and he began making frequent appearances on talk shows to discuss his rehabilitation and like become famous. An autobiography that he had written in prison began being widely taught in Austrian schools.
Schools?
Yeah.
Elementary schools.
I don't like this guy at all.
In the first year after his release, he murdered 7 women.
Yup.
All were strangled with their own bras, which is the same way that he had murdered Margaret Schaefer.
Which
he
is also a reminder to never wear a bra.
True.
I'm not victim blaming. It's just safer.
It's like exercise.
Yeah.
Don't exercise.
It's not safe.
Don't wear a bra. None of it's safe.
In the first year after his release, he murdered 7 more women.
While he's being interviewed and going on like a tour, being
Yeah,
like,
he's like-
I'm rehabilitated, look at me, look at me.
Yeah. He's
That
putting
is
himself in
so
the spotlight and
fucked.
totally getting off on the fact that he's also simultaneously committing these horrific crimes and people aren't noticing.
I hate it.
Fuck that. Hate it.
These crimes would not be tied to him until later. And in a fucked up twist, he'd begun working as this reporter in LA, and he covered the discovery of several of his own victims,
Oh
What?
like to like
a
break the
freak.
news,
my.
and was like, "There's a
God.
serial killer on the loose," and
It's
da-da-da.
me.
Yeah,
Ew. That is so
Ugh.
psychotic.
Yeah. I don't like it. No.
Thanks, I hate it.
yeah.
I really don't like it.
So in 1991, he got the overseas assignment that would send him to Los Angeles to report on crime and the differences between the U.S. and European attitudes towards sex work, selling sex, prostitution. When he arrived in L.A., he moved into the Cecil, and some people believe that this was a deliberate, quote, homage to Richard Ramirez.
Oh my God. Totally.
Because like he didn't have to live there.
No.
He was kind of
No.
selling it as like, I'm going to be amongst my subject, and there's
Right.
a lot of sex work happening around here, and there's a lot of crime happening around here, so I need to be like
Sure.
in the thick of things. But like
No.
he didn't need to stay there.
He was looking for access to victims.
victims.
Absolutely.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
He was
happening.
hunting. Yeah, exactly. In the year that Unterweger, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say his name, spent
But also,
living at
who
the
fucking
Cecil.
cares if we don't get this
Yeah.
dick
Underwear.
Jack
right?
off. Austrian jack off.
Yeah.
In the year that he spent living at the Cecil, 3 sex workers in LA, Shannon Exley, Irene Rodriguez, and Peggy Booth, were found beaten, raped, and strangled to death with their own bras.
Yep.
Wouldn't be hard to tie all these crimes together.
You wouldn't think
He's
so.
got an MO.
Yeah. Yeah. You'd think that the guy who went to prison for murdering someone by strangling her with her own bra, then wrote a book about it, then got released from prison, and then 7 more victims after his release popped up,
mysteriously pop up.
some of which he reports on,
Yeah.
And
He's
then he-
kind of a common thread.
and then he moves to another city, and then 3 more victims of identical MO crop up. Unbelievable.
I can't.
I mean, coincidences happen all the time.
Uh-huh. So ultimately, Austrian police tied the string of murders back in Europe to him, and he was extradited back to Austria and sentenced to life in prison for realsies this time.
Yeah, but he didn't even get he didn't really see justice for any of the crimes he committed here because police in the U.S. didn't fucking do anything.
Right. Correct.
So who knows if Austrian police hadn't figured it out and extradited him, all of which is a process.
Right.
How many people he could have killed.
Yeah. I mean, he could have way more victims than we know about.
He probably does.
He probably does.
Especially because he targeted so many women who were selling sex. Like, they just are not a priority.
Right. And, well, yeah, especially back then, they were so marginalized, and still today, but especially back then. And, you know, his MO was so specific that hopefully we do know about all of his known victims. But at the same time, like, people can change their MO.
Or it can evolve over time.
Yeah. So
They
we don't know.
usually do.
Yeah.
The bra thing, though.
The bra
Yeah.
thing.
That's weird. That's
So-
telling. That's damning.
It's damning.
His is the most wild story, I think. And just because we don't have the time to fully get into the next case, I just want to briefly mention it, but it kind of is more of a standalone case than we have time to get into right now. But there's also the story of Elisa Lam, who was the Canadian student. She was young. She was 21, and she was like on a solo bus trip. And the Cecil was trying to like fix its reputation at the time and like rebrand because it obviously has quite a checkered past.
Yeah, really.
So it was sold to new owners. They started refurbishing it. They were trying to like really change things up. They changed the name to Stay on Main. They were doing everything they could to
Distance ourselves.
to not be called the Suicide or that place that both those serial killers lived at during the height of their crimes.
Hashtag thriving.
So they did everything except for exorcism for
Sure.
this hotel.
Yeah.
Which maybe they
probably should have done.
Probably should have. But then in 2013, yet another notorious tragedy struck the hotel. So it was sort of trying to rebrand as like a youth hostel. So then this 21-year-old student, Elisa, goes. She's traveling alone. She was given a shared room, but then her roommates were like, she's acting odd. And so she was moved to a single room, which is very interesting. And she had previously been diagnosed with depression and bipolar disorder, and she was on medication, but it's possible that she had stopped taking her medication because
she might have been in crisis or having an episode.
that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
So again, we don't have time to go fully into the story, but she disappeared and her body was discovered 3 weeks after her disappearance in the like water tank on the roof of the hotel.
And there's that like really creepy famous footage of her like getting in and out of the elevator. It's just the spookiest.
There's so much more. We just can't get into all of it. But like, yeah, it's a very interesting thing. But one more thing about the Cecil. After the Elisa Lam case, the ownership changed once again. Those poor interim owners were like, we can't fucking
It's
do
been
this.
0 days since our last dark tragedy.
Yeah.
Horrible tragedy.
Oh, the Cecil's for sale again.
So it is. It was.
It's the location.
It really is because it was purchased
Downtown
for
LA.
$30 million.
Whoa.
Location by a New York City hotelier
There he is.
who then
Hotelier.
Failure.
who leased it on a 99-year lease to a developer, and they are planning a $100 million renovation of the property to
Like currently? Oh,
to
wow.
transform it into a hip boutique hotel and micro rental units.
I mean, I'll go. I'm not gonna not.
I have a
stay at that
cocktail in the
hotel.
bar.
Yeah,
I won't stay there, but I would have a cocktail in the bar. Yeah.
I'd stay there.
When the developer was asked if the hotel's gruesome history might deter guests, yes, he responded, quite frankly, a lot of people already come here out of curiosity.
Yep.
looking for the
I
bar.
mean, we work
in
in
a
true
lobby.
crime. We know how
Yeah.
sloppy bananas true crime fans are.
Yeah.
And I'm up there with
I
some of
want to
those.
stay at the Lizzie Borden house.
I want to do that.
which is basically the same thing.
I wanna stay
haunted
at the Velisca
hotels are
house.
like my favorite thing.
Yeah.
I like a hotel with a checkered past.
Chicken piss.
This one is too dark for me, I
Nobody's
think.
perfect. Leave her alone.
Leave the Cecil alone.
It's not a fault.
Anyway, so that's my case, a bunch of micro cases. I'm sorry I didn't fully cover Elisa Lam. It would just, we don't have the time in
We'll
this
have
format.
to cover her at a later date because it's
Yes.
so detailed and so weird, and there are so
Yeah.
many theories, and we're gonna want to like talk about it.
There are
this
also so many other podcasts out there who
Oh, yeah.
have done a really good and thorough job talking about her.
And
So
that's not us.
if
Good
you're
or thorough.
listening,
Yeah,
and
we
you're
didn't
curious,
fully cover her.
just
Yeah.
Google it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is
I love it.
fascinating.
Well,
but I
I'm-
too have to think that she was just in crisis.
That's what I think.
Well, for sure, but like how she got in there.
How
it's
she
just-
got in the tank
Yeah,
is
that's
the real
the biggest
question.
mystery.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Anyway,
another aliens. Well done.
nice
you.
job.
Adding the Cecil to my post-COVID travel list.
All right.
Amsterdam
Get life insurance out of
Cecil.
Amanda.
It's gonna be fun.
We have our death clause.
Yeah,
She's
you
fine.
have a plan.
We
You're
need
fine.
a disappearance clause, though.
We do.
We'll just blend disappearance and death. In the case of my death and or disappearance.
I'll text our lawyer right now.
Yeah, text Julian. Honestly, I could probably just begin and immediately end my case for Hellish Hotels by saying today we're talking about a Holiday Inn in Iowa.
What?
Where we stayed
Done.
for Lucy's wedding?
Criteria met,
That
special
was
thanks.
not a Holiday Inn.
No,
No, it was
not.
nice.
Give me
But-
a little credit.
There it is, Hellish Hotel. Just kidding. There's more. And Lucy, this is going to hit all of your boxes, so buckle up.
Yes, I'm so excited.
So we're traveling back in time to 1980, the roaring 80s. Roger Atkinson, a Missouri man who worked as a telephone installation tech and repairman, was married to, I kid you not, this name is real, Marcella Shat.
Oh,
S-H-A-T. Shat.
oh.
I know, but it's funny. So the couple were childhood sweethearts who had begun dating at the age of 15.
I don't know. He likes that shat girl.
He loves He's all wrapped up with that shat girl. And they had
going out with that shat girl, going around with that shat girl.
taken a shat. They had one child together, a
Where are
daughter.
you taking a prom? I'm taking a.
Taking a shat. One of the shat daughters.
I'm taking a shat to the movies.
They had a daughter together, but their wedded life was not bliss, and Roger would use his job to get close to other women.
Was he a boob inspector? Or
Probably.
whatever that guy
Well,
is?
no, he was like
Female
fixing
body
people's
inspector,
phones.
FBI.
Gave free mammograms while he was repairing your phone at your
Oh,
house.
so he's like a BTK type.
Well, sure, but he's not a murderer, so he
Oh.
just sucks. He would schedule fake repairs or
He's
like
just an
installations to be invited back into the homes of women that he liked.
Gross.
Ew.
Yeah, ish. I hate it. But the tactic worked on one young woman. A young single mom
Was
and
her name
nursing
Shart?
named another Shart. A young single mom and nursing
cousin.
student named Rose Burkert. Burkert and Shart, attorneys at law. And the two struck up a romantic relationship. Pretty much everyone in this dies, so I really shouldn't be making fun of these people. But also,
Oh.
Roger is garbage.
Okay.
You can be murdered and be garbage. Both things can be
Yeah.
true. So
Not mutually exclusive.
Right?
Not all victims are angels.
No. So because Roger
Some
was
are
married,
Roger.
the two of them couldn't be like out in the open as a couple. So when they weren't meeting in Rose's home, they would go out of town together. And one such a trip, they decided to drive the 270 miles from home in Missouri to enjoy a romantic weekend away at the Amana Holiday Inn in Williamsburg, Iowa.
What a
By the
destination.
Amana colonies.
There you go.
Actually, it is a destination. It's like Amish area.
Sure.
It
what?
is.
The Amana colonies?
Of the Amana colonies.
Colonies
I don't know
of
if Amish
what?
are like Mennonite people.
Okay.
They have like little shops and bakeries and windmills and
I'm sure
shit
it's
like
very
that.
cute.
Okay.
They have a killer outlet mall too.
There you go. So they arrived at the hotel on Friday, September 12th, 1980, but the two biffed it. And in their urgency to get away, they just kind of like picked a spot and drove. And when they got to the hotel, they were informed that it was completely booked up for, drumroll please, a mortician's convention.
Yeah.
Now that's a destination.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, we don't have any
It's
rooms.
ticking all of Lucy's boxes.
I know. I was like,
Check.
I was
Check.
reading the footnotes
Check.
of like one article and I just kept going, it was great.
Funny last name. Piece of shit
We got a
man.
chat. We've got Iowa. We've got
Mennonite.
morticians.
Mennonites.
Mennonites.
Morticians convention.
Oh
So-
yeah. I'm so into this.
The couple are a little defeated, but they're determined to get a room. So they ask the clerk, like, please, triple check. You can't be telling me in this Holiday Inn in fucking Williamsburg, Iowa, there isn't a single room available. And lo and behold, there had been a last minute cancellation, and Roger and Rose got the only room left in the hotel, room 260. So at 7:40 p.m., they checked in and made their way to the second floor for their weekend of passion. The couple were seen at the hotel.
Convention.
Their weekend
Steamy.
of mortal passion.
Oh.
The couple were seen at the hotel several times that night. Once when they were asked to move their car out of a handicapped parking spot.
Okay, Roger.
He
Come the fuck
sucks.
on.
And also, like, Rose,
Yeah.
honey,
What are you doing?
you're complicit.
Yeah.
You suck too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They both fully suck. They're fucking assholes. Once when they ordered room service, and once when other guests allegedly saw Rose get into an argument with a hotel bartender.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Rose
so
sucks.
she's a piece of shit.
It's unclear what the argument was about. I assume she was just being a Karen about her cocktail.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The room,
This isn't strong enough.
right?
This is watered down.
You watered it. It's water.
I saw you pour it out of that bottle. It's already open. It's flat.
So,
Who are
They
you
also-
to cut me off?
ow, I'll tell you when I've had enough.
I pay you.
I pay your
And
salary.
I
work
don't
for
tip.
me.
I don't tip.
I don't believe in it.
I mean, she's brutally murdered, but also like,
Oh, shit.
well, like I said, basically everybody in this story dies, but just because you're murdered doesn't mean you're not a fucking asshole. You're
My fa-
complicit in an extramarital affair. You're parking in handicap spots.
You're yelling at a bartender.
You're yelling at a bartender. Does it mean you deserve to get murdered? No. Does it mean you're probably a little bit of a piece of shit? Yeah. It can all be true.
Yeah.
My favorite is when they're too drunk to do the math to add the tip. They just go, here, you figure
Fill
it out.
in. Yeah. I have fully done that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I can't trust myself. You fill it in.
One eye.
Get
What's
yourself
20%?
something nice.
What's half of 10?
You move the decimal points
And then double it.
and then multiply by what? I don't know. You fill it in. I gotta go to bed. I gotta throw up. So they also
Pen
received.
doesn't work. Ma'am, the cap is on. We've all been this bitch,
That
though.
was me in Las Vegas.
I've never argued with a bartender.
No. We've been the bitch who's like, I can't do it. You figure it. I
I can't
trust
do
you.
it. Tip yourself generous.
Get yourself something nice, but my card has a $40 limit. So 3 phone calls were also accepted to their hotel room, 2 from the babysitter that was staying with Rose's kids, and 1 from an unknown caller.
Oh, they were buying drugs.
Well, no, it was an incoming call, so
Oh.
I don't know how that would work, but they were all incoming calls.
Okay.
The next morning, September 13th, housekeeping came by to tidy up. They knocked several times and after no response, entered the room to clean it, which is completely standard unless you hang that like don't clean my room sign on the door. But what the housekeeper found upon entering was not what she expected.
Oh no.
A bloodbath.
Yep. So this comes from iowacoldcases.org.
Yes.
Quote, Rose and Roger were lying face down in bed, partially under the blankets. Rose was fully dressed, but Roger was in just his shorts. Both their heads had been obliterated by a weapon with a sharp blade believed to be an axe or hatchet.
Ooh.
Lying face down on the bed, both of them?
Yep. Some of
Were they
Roger's...
Were they hacked on the bed?
I believe so. Some of Roger's fingers had been cut off, which may have happened if he'd raised his hands
yeah.
in self-defense.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were 2 chairs set next to the bed. It's been suggested that this could be an indication that the killer sat there and had a conversation with the couple. Or something else that we'll get to. And there was also evidence that somebody had put his or her feet up on the nightstand. It's undetermined whether that happened before or after the murders. If the perpetrator acted this casually around Rose and Roger, it may have been someone at least one of them knew. This
Or
is
a power
also
move.
right, or a power move, but the fact that they knew this individual is a possibility because there's no signs of forced entry or struggle in the room.
What year was this again?
1980.
90s?
80.
80. So, could have been a drug deal.
Could have been.
I'm sticking
Oh, it
with
totally
that.
could have been.
Even
Could
though
have
it
been.
was an incoming call, maybe they met someone at the truck stop. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, well, but
We're
whatever.
staying at this hotel.
Yeah, it absolutely
Call
could
us
have been.
later.
Absolutely.
I'm going with drug deal.
Maybe.
Also, Roger could have put his foot up on a nightstand during doing the deed.
Maybe. It's
possible.
But she's fully clothed.
I meant earlier in the
Sure.
day or night.
Yeah.
The real question is, did she put her socks back on?
I don't
'Cause that's
know.
something that I can't do. I can't put the socks back on
After
afterwards.
sex. No.
I need new socks or just to not take them off.
You leave them on? You can leave your socks on.
I've never left my
They're
socks
cute.
on.
I have some knee-high socks.
Oh,
Well, that's
cute.
different.
Cute.
That's different.
Yeah,
They're not
that's-
sex socks.
not
They're
like-
just cuter than average
Not
socks.
like the gray-bottomed Hanes from walking around my house so
the
much.
no-shows.
Yeah,
no.
the Hanes no-shows that are like
Yeah.
permanently stained from being in my sneakers.
No. If you're fucking in no-shows, you need to raise your standards. And that should be on merch because that is the most honest thing I've ever said.
Honestly.
You're fucking in
No show.
then you're
Recalibrate,
clearly
honey.
a serial killer.
Recalibrate.
You need a hard reset, honey.
Can I recommend Talkspace? So more evidence was found in the bathroom where the killer had obviously tried to wash up, leaving blood and toothpaste in the sink and bathtub. Toothpaste has been a known hack in cleaning tough stains, so the theory is that the killer was trying to get spots of like blood out of their clothing.
Well, yeah, if you're
and
hacking someone on a bed, there's
There's
gonna
splatter.
be
Or
That's
spatter,
what I said.
sorry.
That my question about the bed, hacking on a soft,
Bouncing
bouncy
surface.
surface. That's messy.
I mean, the place, it was a mess. I don't have crime scene photos, but it was not cute.
and 2 people. So how do you keep one
They were
immobile?
What I imagine was they were probably knocked unconscious. Like, especially if you're using an axe, you use the blunt end, like the handle end. You knock them out.
Yeah.
You chop them up.
Arrange
They're not
them.
going to fight back.
Both
know.
face down. This is very odd.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't answer these. This case is unsolved. So all these questions you're asking me, I have no answers for.
Yeah, man, it's just like, I know.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? So the toothpaste, they think that this person was trying to get like blood stains out of their clothing. They left remnants in the sink in the bathtub. But the creepiest part was remnants of a message written in bar soap on the bathroom mirror.
Red rum.
Most of it had been smudged away, leaving only one legible word: this. Makes no sense. It's so weird.
Oh,
This house is
This
clean.
house is not clean. So fragments and shavings of bar soap were found around the chair by the bedside, which indicated to investigators that the killer sat there fucking whittling the soap into a writing utensil before using it on the mirror.
This was a crazy mortician.
Right? Like, yes, it could have been a drug deal, but none of this sounds like drug deal gone wrong.
No,
Like,
this person
this
was
is-
in there for a while. This person was like
Yeah.
either torturing them or
Right.
like purposely scaring them, or they were unconscious and they were like fucking taking their fucking time.
Yeah, that's the thing. They also don't know whether he like whittled or but let's be honest, it was a man, whittled before or after the murders took place. Like maybe they were knocked out and
Maybe
on
they were
the bed.
dead and the guy was like loving it and
Just
whittling.
chilling. I'm whittling.
Maybe he's like, you
But then
guys
he
want to
smudged
see
away-
my soap carving skills?
Well, he spent all that time fucking carving soap into a writing utensil and then wrote a message and then smeared away most of it so that it couldn't even be read after the fact. It's like,
That is
Just
this
use the
is
corner
so
of the soap.
spooky.
isn't it creepy? It's so
Yeah.
weird. I don't
Whittle
know.
the soap into a fucking pencil.
No, you
Just use the
definitely don't
corner.
have to. But it's that plays into like the psychosis of what
Yeah.
must have been going on here. It's so bizarre.
It's really bizarre.
So Roger and Rose's personal items were ransacked, but not like thrown everywhere. They were just like obviously gone through. Cash was stolen. I think some like valuable items were stolen, but nothing ever came of that. So who did it? That's what we want to know. Investigators questioned over 400 people in this case, which sounds like a lot, but if we remember, the hotel was fucking booked to the gills with morticians. So hotel staff and guests alone made up a lot of that list.
It was bursting at the seams with morticians.
Have you ever seen a dead body?
Yeah.
Lots.
Eh,
And they're all creeps.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
every single one
Morticians.
of them is a suspect.
Oh, for sure. So
I'm a suspect.
yeah. We weren't even born yet and we're
I
a
know.
suspect.
I'm that creepy.
In
blowing
their
my mind.
investigation, they discovered that Rose had previously had to file a restraining order against her ex, Danny Burton. Never trusted Danny. Their relationship had ended tumultuously over his struggles with drug use, and she had to kick him out of her home. Afterward, he continued to harass her, which prompted her to file the order of protection against him. She also purchased a dog around that time because he was stalking her home.
Well, I think we solved it.
Well, we'll get to it. But
Clearly
and a report
Danny.
said that this dog she purchased was killed and hung up in front of her house like a warning. Rose was so terrified that she was making plans to move away and change jobs. However, Danny had a solid alibi from the night of September 12th and passed a polygraph test, which of course we know is garbage science anyway, but the alibi
was
is
that
tough to work
alibi?
around.
I
He
need
was-
to know what that alibi was.
I do too. He was dismissed as a suspect, and as far as we know, he's still alive and living in the town in Missouri that he'd been in at the time, but the details of his alibi were never published, and honestly, I don't personally rule this dude out.
No.
He's a top suspect for
Missouri
me.
Isn't that far from this town?
No, they drove 270 miles to go vacation for the weekend in this town.
Yeah.
So, like, he could have, especially if this was going down with some crossover, or maybe she started seeing Roger shortly after she and Danny broke up.
or
and
it
he's
doesn't even
following
matter
her.
because he's a fucking
No, that's what I'm saying. I think
violent
it's
stalker.
Yeah,
absolutely.
he could have followed her. Is
That's what I'm
we're
saying. I think he could be, he was already stalking her. She had to get an order of protection. It's not outside of the realm of possibility that he was tracking her
Yeah.
to this location.
And then that would make sense why he would like try to intimidate and like whittle and put his
why there'd
foot
be
up
no
on the
forced
thing.
entry. She recognized him. Maybe she let him in or was so afraid to fight back that she let him in. Like, I know he had an alibi, but the police never released what the details of that alibi were, and he's my top suspect personally.
I would need him like identifiable on
Camera.
video. Yeah, exactly. In another place.
Yep.
I would need so much backup of that alibi
Yeah.
to rule him out.
But we have other possibilities, but he's
Okay.
definitely my numero uno. So enter the next possibility, Charles Hatcher. Charles is
Hatche.
Roger's Hatchet.
Shall
Charles is
Hache.
Roger's uncle, and dude is a mess.
Okay.
It's also Soup's suspicious timing that right before these murders took place, he had escaped from a mental health facility, like an institution.
Escaped.
Yeah. Charles had attempted to kidnap a 16-year-old paperboy in 1959. While in prison for this, he raped and murdered a fellow inmate in 1961. He was released in 1963, proceeded to abduct and strangle a 12-year-old boy in 1969, and deemed unfit to stand trial in 1971 and sent to a psychiatric facility. He escaped from that facility, but was caught within a week. He stayed in this facility for a year before staff deemed him a danger to other patients, and he was transferred to a state hospital. He attempted suicide in June of 1973 and was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. After an improvement in behavior and the passing of a new bill honoring time served for inmates, which cool, Charles went before the parole board in 1977 and was released to a halfway house in San Francisco.
No, I'm sorry.
I know some
This
people
kind
cannot
of
be reformed.
In San
pattern of behavior is
We'll
not,
get to it, Lucy. All of these crimes, he's from Missouri, from this like a similar area. These crimes happened in California, but he's not always in California.
Gotcha. Okay. I thought they were just like, we'll release you to a halfway house. How about this one in San Francisco?
Yeah, no, that's fair. I didn't make that clear.
We know you love views of bays.
Hashtag views.
From Missouri to San Francisco.
So after being released to this halfway house in San Francisco, he was arrested again a year later in Nebraska for sexually assaulting a 16-year-old boy and sent to Douglas County Medical Hospital.
He's a
where
fucking menace to society.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Where he stayed for less than a year and was released in January of 1979.
Our system is so fucked.
It's so
He's
fucked.
sexually assaulting children and raping and murdering people and children.
Well, he's white. He's a white man. So by May of 1979, he was arrested again for assault and attempted murder of a 7-year-old boy and sent to Norfolk Regional Center Mental Health Facility.
Jesus.
He was released, but
What
sent
the
back
fuck?
sent back almost immediately after yet another assault. And this was around the time he escaped from that facility. He was picked up again in October of 1980 in Nebraska, which allows for him being out during the time of Rose and Roger's murder. But
He only attacked randos.
well,
like
not
children.
randos. He had an MO. He attacked young boys.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Investigators did not believe he was the culprit for a number of reasons. One, he was likely in Nebraska at the time of the murders. Two, these murders did not fit his MO.
Yeah.
And three, without cell phones and regular communication with Roger, how the fuck could he have known that on that night in that town in Iowa that his nephew was having an affair at that hotel? Like,
And
it
why
just,
would
it
he-
doesn't make
and
sense.
why would he care?
And why would he
Like,
care?
Yeah, that's Nebraska and Iowa are not. Don't they share a border?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not like the
It's not out of
location
the
doesn't-
realm.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be probably 3 hours at the minimum to
Right.
get from Nebraska to this city in Iowa. Though.
There's just no motive.
There's no reason. It doesn't make sense. There's no reason for him to be there.
right.
Yeah.
Next.
Next.
What about the bartender that Rose had a tiff with the night of the murder?
Oh.
His
probably.
story is odd, to say the least, seeing as how he dipped from his hotel job the next day without ever coming back to pick up his final paycheck on the
Maybe
13th.
because he didn't like being berated by strange Karens.
I mean, for sure. But his pickup truck, which he had been living in, was found abandoned in Iowa City. Detectives discovered that he'd gone to join the army, and was stationed in Germany, which stalled their investigation of him. When he returned to the States, he was questioned further and given a polygraph. He claimed that he left because he was worried that people would incorrectly link him to the murder because he'd fought with the victim the night before.
Are you saying I'm a suspect?
What? Which, like, that's suspicious.
That is suspicious.
Sir.
yeah.
There's very little
Oh.
information about this lead, and for whatever reason, investigators did not make an arrest or further question this bartender.
Yeah, why would you not try to like sell your truck right before you join the army and like
It's weird. I think it's a possibility. That he's like after the ex-boyfriend, he's my next, like.
yeah, definitely.
But also, some bitchy fucking Karen crapping at you over a cocktail and hacking up their heads.
well, we don't have enough information about this guy. We don't know.
We don't, but the reason I still go back to the ex-boyfriend is because there's more intimacy, there's history. He's
Oh, yeah.
he's shown a history of rage.
Killing
Yeah,
the
oh.
dog and hanging it.
Yeah, like
oh yeah.
I feel like if you're gonna piss off a bartender and he comes to your room and he shoots you to death in the night, yes, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But the hacking of the head and then
That makes sense to me as a former bartender.
Right. As a former bartender, I have nearly shot many people, so can vouch.
But this is so outrageous.
The
and the
whittling.
amount of time he spent in that
the
room,
room.
regardless whether it was before or after the murders,
Yup.
Yeah.
it does not make sense.
He knew one of them. Like he had to have, or got off somehow by the proximity. And that's not a I'm mad, you pissed me off, so I'm going to kill you move. That's a I've been thinking about this. This is like a fantasy situation.
Been ruminating.
Although I still think probably the violent, abusive ex did it, but did the bartender have access to like a hotel master key?
I mean, any employee you could surmise could get their hands on something like that.
You know,
Totally. No forced entry.
possibility.
You never know.
And maybe he was hiding in the shower and then he came out and had the bar of soap.
Also, if you knew your way around a particular hotel, you could, and were willing to break the law, you could probably find a master key.
Or would you even need a master key if you are an employee of the hotel, you approach the room, you knock, you're recognized by somebody in there because they had an altercation with you earlier and you want to like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened. I'm here
we
to
brought
cop you a
free-
cocktail.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
I'd let that fucker in.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to get killed. I have a coupon. Come
I don't
into this
let anyone
minivan.
I have a
I didn't-
puppy or a coupon.
Yeah.
I do not open the door. I look through the keyhole and then I ask them politely to like leave it, whatever they're offering.
Your
leave it
whole
outside.
front door is glass.
No, I'm talking about in hotels.
Oh,
And I've stayed in
hotels.
enough hotels by myself
Right.
that I just do not open the door.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't really do that either. Like I used to, when I worked at Rock Bottom in downtown Minneapolis, we did room service for a hotel connected to our Skyway. And the amount of times individuals, when I would deliver alone, a lot of times to older men alone, and they always fucking invite you into their room. And I was like, nope, I'm not allowed to do that. And if they wouldn't take the tray from me, I just put it on the floor and I left. I was like, if you don't want to fucking sign and tip, I don't care. I'm not getting murdered or assaulted because of you.
Yeah.
So could have been. Another promising possibility is Raimundo Esparza, who committed an eerily similar crime at an Illinois hotel in June of 1980. He was a transient, not my words, which could account for him being in Iowa the same year that he'd murdered in Illinois. He killed at this Illinois hotel. He killed 25-year-old salesman William Ross Kyle in his room at the Sheraton Motor Inn, which, like the Holiday Inn crime scene, there were no signs of forced entry, money was stolen, and toothpaste was splattered around the tub.
Oh.
The murder weapon was
a lot of possibilities.
so many possibilities.
here.
This case is bonks. The murder weapon was also a sharp object like an axe or a hatchet. However, no soap message in William Kyle's case. And Esparza was the main suspect in the Kyle murder, but investigators couldn't pin him down, and like DNA evidence was not a thing in 1980. So one investigator on the case said in an interview, quote, "We just couldn't get what we needed, and what we needed was a confession. At the time, if we'd had DNA, maybe we could have gotten something, but we couldn't even get fingerprints."
So none of this was even collected? Like, it's not like there's like a
No.
box sitting somewhere that hasn't been tested?
No, it's so sad, but it also kind of makes sense because it's like, how can you plan ahead for technology that doesn't even exist
Yeah.
yet? You know, so it's really frustrating, but it's also like, well, of course they're not going to collect that stuff. They wouldn't have any use for it.
Right.
And little
That's
did
like
they
at
know,
this point collecting like some air in the room.
And little did they know, within 10 years, they're going to have access to that, like huge changes in technology. So it's just sad. So they had no choice but to let this guy go, which would allow him to be available at the time of the Holiday Inn murders. And this guy never was prosecuted for this murder, even though it was like, he definitely did it. We just don't have enough to bring him to trial. So that's a possibility. And finally, what about Marcella Schatt?
Oh, Mrs. Shat.
She shat the bed.
I mean, I don't know if I'm smelling shat, but it's a possibility.
Women don't murder like that.
Not like
though.
that. It's pretty rare. They do, but it's not common.
Yeah.
So
Lizzie
she's
Borden.
obviously the scorned wife of Roger. Could she have been responsible for the killings, or at least for arranging the murder? The fact of the matter is we have no evidence to support this theory, so we're just going to speculate wildly. So Marcella denied ever even knowing that Roger was having an affair, despite other people claiming that his infidelities were common knowledge in their little town of St. Joseph, Missouri.
Well, both could be true.
Absolutely. She herself believed that it was Danny, Rose's ex, and that it was not anyone affiliated with really even Roger or her. I suppose if she was lying and she actually did know that Roger was cheating, she could have hired somebody to tail them for the weekend and then report back to her.
I don't think like using a hatchet and whittling soap and leaving him,
that seems like a gun situation.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're just paid to make someone die, like
you're getting
not gonna,
in and out real quick. You're not going to sit in the whittling.
There's a silencer involved.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whittling for me is like, that's the key to it all and the mystery of it all is the fucking whittling.
Yeah. There's nothing creepier.
No. So, it's possible. It's possible that someone in her family was somehow in the know of Roger's activities and acted without Marcella even knowing that.
If that person would have to be fucking psychotic.
Well, but if we're stretching this theory, that's the only thing that makes sense to me, because then there's someone who's like intimately invested in this because they care so much about Marcella, like maybe.
Yeah.
And,
it goes beyond intimacy, though.
It does.
This is bordering on like.
And
kind
did
of
Marcella
crazy.
and Roger have kids?
Yes, they have one daughter.
Yeah, it's not how you want, if you're a mom, it's not how you want your kids to know that their father died.
No.
I'm releasing Shat.
I am too.
Yeah.
But, it's worth discussing. Roger's brother Larry and his wife Elizabeth did believe that Marcella or Marcella's family were involved. They claimed that the day before the murders, Marcella visited them and began crying, which was unlike her. So perhaps she knew something tragic was coming, or perhaps she just found out about the infidelity. I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's
her
like,
husband's away for a long weekend and she has suspicions.
yeah.
Or like she
she's
doesn't
just-
know, but like subconsciously she knows.
Right. Or she's just having a fucking bad day and she
Yeah.
cried.
Yeah, maybe she's getting
I
her
cry
period.
daily. It's
Yes.
fine.
I
It
also
wasn't
fully
Shat.
released Shat.
It wasn't Shat.
She didn't do it. So it wasn't Shat. That's the next t-shirt. So the unfortunate truth is there's just
Shat
no
is
way
innocent.
to know. Free Shat.
Free Shat.
This case is still open and
gotta wrap this up.
unsolved. This case is still open and unsolved, with the most recent update being in 2016, which really wasn't an update at all. It's just an article stating that they're still investigating this now like 40 fucking year old murder, 40 plus year old murder. And they do have like new technology in DNA testing, but like Kenyon pointed out earlier, they have nothing to test.
Yeah.
That like they don't collect that kind of shit, or didn't at the time. And anything that they may have collected, like they're going to keep probably clothing and certain things from evidence from the room, but it's also old now too. And with DNA testing not being a thing then, there just wasn't much collected in the first place. It's not bringing up new leads. So authorities
I
are
am going to
still
go down a rabbit hole. This is my new.
Yeah.
This is my
this
new
is like the
obsession.
Lori Vallow.
This is your new family genealogy.
Yeah. Get to the bottom of this Shat.
I need to find some Reddit threads about this case.
Oh,
This
there is one, and I
wild.
link it in my in my sources, so you can totally go down that rabbit hole. It's bonks. But authorities, they're still encouraging anyone with any information regarding this case to contact the Iowa County Sheriff's Office at 319-642-7307 or the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation at 515-725-6010. And that is my case.
Well done.
Nice job.
Isn't it wild?
One of my
That's
favorite
fucked
you've ever
up.
done.
Yeah, this is up there.
I usually really hate doing unsolved cases, but these theories were so juicy.
When it's unsolved, but there are plausible theories, that's that.
I mean,
I'm into.
hashtag it was Danny.
I think so. I'm
Like,
gonna
I
look
think it
him up.
had to have been.
Let's see what he's been up to since 1980.
But also, my other favorite case that you've done was that like child who disappeared in that national park and was like seen up a cliff.
Yeah, because it could have
That-
been aliens or
The
a
ones that are
wild
like
cat.
so fucked up.
You
that
know, I
have
love talking
no
about
idea.
a good conspiracy theory too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I love anything having to do with aliens, but I also do love an unsolved mystery.
I hate to say it, I had a lot of fun with this one. With this grizzly motherfucker.
Happy
Super
for
grizz.
you.
A fucking mortician's
Yeah.
convention, for
I know.
God's sakes.
None of the morticians garnered any suspicion.
Nothing that stuck.
They would have been a lot more careful about
Oh my
it. They would have
God.
known how to remove blood without using toothpaste.
Right?
Rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would have had
Idiot.
all the chemicals they needed.
They wouldn't have used a hatchet on a fucking bed. This smacks of somebody who's never actually done this before.
Right.
or only
Right.
to a dog.
Or
Yep.
only to a dog.
Yep. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you to our fan picker, Ashi Watson. Oshi. Oh, shit. I don't know how to say your name, Watson.
The vast ocean of our love.
This was a really great topic.
Yeah,
It
Thank
was
you
a good
so
topic.
much.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Talk
We
to you
will
next
see you
week.
next week.
Bye-bye.